Boomer Sooner.
Upended balls loose, lay it around, picked up on the run. Cannon, he's to the 10, he's to the 5, touchdown!
Live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Welcome to the OU Huddle on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Also brought to you by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Now, here's the voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland.
What's up, Toby?
I am obviously not Toby Rowland. Toby Rowland, he's got Sooners basketball tonight.
Good for them.
Little double header over at the Lloyd Noble Center. But for the next 2 hours, it's football season.
We're lucky enough. I know it's football season.
Come on, it's football season. We'll
Yeah.
be talking Sooners football for the next 2 hours. Brent Venables and Teddy Lehman will join us an hour from now. But for the next hour, you have us three.
Oh, yeah.
All y'all welcome.
We called this thing the Huddle, and please help me welcome my two co-hosts, Mr. Caleb Kelly.
Every time.
And Mr. Josh Norman.
I appreciate that intro. Giving us our own individual introduction.
Doesn't it feel right?
It does.
Toby
It feels
does
good.
it as a group thing. I felt that you both deserved your own.
Toby,
Well,
hey,
we got one more here.
Just Toby taking ricochet shots.
Handsomest guy up here, right? Come on, give it up for Gabe Eichert today.
Type situation.
Are you saying T-Rose about to get Wally pipped?
I'm just saying.
Wally
I mean,
That's
it could be a Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady situation here, man. I don't know.
Toby Rowland, and I'm being dead serious. It's not just because I work with the man every week.
He's good as it gets.
He's the best in the country at what he does.
No question.
I mean, there's just not even a debate.
No question.
Boys, how good does it feel that we won a game? The sweet
It
nectar of
feels as
victory.
good as it smells in here.
Well, that's
how
good. It smells
feels.
delightful in here. So, in all
like smoked meat in
seriousness,
here. That's how good it feels.
In all seriousness, it's been rough around here for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Just how nice was it, Josh, to see these guys get a win on Saturday?
Man, it was good. It's always good, when you're around these guys as much as we are, just to see them having success and having fun. That's always a good thing. And so, for the team to be able to go into this game, for those guys to prepare with the same level of intensity that they have any other week as if we were playing an SEC team, and for them to come out and have the success they had, it's always a good thing for us. And then it just gets us back in a rhythm, gets us back with a little bit of momentum going into the next week. And so it was a great thing all the way around.
Looking at the offensive side of the ball, this group has received a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
Going back a couple weeks, made the change at offensive coordinator. Things haven't gone particularly well. How nice was it to see the offense have that type of performance, Caleb?
Man, we ran the ball. And,
Yeah, we did.
We love that. I'm not going to talk about the O-line. We're going to save that for you, even though you're hosting. We're not going to take away the opportunity for a little bit of joy on the O-line to come out of your mouth.
You guys may need to calm me down once we start talking about once we start talking about Eddie Pierre-Louis.
Exactly. That's I knew you were going to go there.
Goodness.
Absolutely.
But outside of that, man, I just saw a bunch of guys hungry and feeding off of each other. I mean, Jackson Arnold played lights out. It was awesome to see. You see him scrambling, and we saw a little bit of that in Ole Miss where we score a touchdown to Jacob Jordan after there's a guy that wins on a pass rush and you got to make a play, and we saw it there. But then you come into this game and it's like, man, I have to handle some business and get some momentum, lead these guys. Did it with Javonte, who you see, man. Javonte he's been playing good the last couple games, but this game was essentially his real breakout game since Florida State for me when he was a freshman, and we were all talking about it. how do you carry that momentum into the next week? What do you got to do? Because we saw things that he hasn't shown before. He's typically a guy that's put a foot in the ground and get vertical, and we saw Javonte Barnes get out there, make people miss, be real patient. And that one run where he's patient, sitting there, and then breaks it was awesome to see. And so excited for those guys, man. They've had a lot of criticism, not a lot, and rightfully so in some cases. But here we go. We're getting some momentum. Some guys are falling into their roles with a young Jacob Jordan showing up now, and so many things. And so proud of those guys this weekend for sure.
This opening segment is presented by Community Coffee, family-owned Community Coffee, the official brewed coffee of OU Athletics. Taste the difference family makes. Josh, it was Maine. I feel like every compliment we have to give, we give for this game. You kind of just have to have the qualifier of it was Maine. The competition was what it was. But looking at the offensive side of the ball, what can we take away from this offense going out and putting 59 points on the board?
Man, I think we can take away a lot. I say it all the time, man. If we can run the ball effectively, it opens up everything else. And so the thing that I really enjoyed watching more than anything, it's easy to watch Javonte Barnes get his 200-plus yards. It's easy to watch Jackson do his thing from the pocket. But the thing that I love more than anything was our physicality on the front line and at the tight end position. I don't know if you watched Bauer Sharp this week.
How could I? First of all, I watch Bauer Sharp every week.
Every week, no question.
I watch it all every week.
Man,
but
I mean, God, dog, he was bringing that funk this week, man. And I'm talking about he was laying dudes on their butts all game long. And so, the physicality that we played with is something that we can build on, man. I think also in the passing game with Jackson being able to find the guys and having success, it just builds that extra confidence. It builds momentum for the next week. And then also from a play calling standpoint, it's big for us because the hardest thing as a play caller is to call plays when ain't nothing working. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And it's like, well, what do I call next? And so when you're able to have the success that we had on the offensive side in the run game and in the pass game, for Coach Finley, it's going to be that much easier to go into the meeting room yesterday and today as they prepare for Missouri to plan for next week and put a full game plan together where he's confident in calling plays as well.
You guys are in the building every day. What has it been like? Has it been any different since Joe John Finley has taken over as the play caller? Joe John's he's a low-key guy.
Yeah,
he's a laid-back guy, and we all didn't want that to unfold the way that it did. Yeah. But have you seen any differences since Joe John has taken over?
Honestly, within the building, I have not. And that's what I honestly love about this team is because every day they show up ready to work. Regardless of the results, regardless of the outcome, every day they reset. And they really have taken on the personality of Coach Venables because every day they come in, it's like, all right, the process. We got to put our head down. We got to work. We got to block out all the noise. We're not having the success that we want. We got to block all of that out. We got to come in and work. And, they're building something that's going to be sustainable. It really is. If they just keep that process every single time that they come into the building just to work and get the job done. And I've seen that from start till now.
And I wouldn't say it's because of Joe John. Now, does he have his hand in it? Yeah, he's the one calling plays. But the reality is the confidence is up.
Yeah.
And guys, even after this week, even though it's Maine, it's still guys that got scholarships, play football, that are coming out, made plays, had turnovers and everything, same way that we did. And so, yeah, it's not beating Tennessee or Texas or something like that. That's a reality. But it's like, man, we finally just kind of you shrug that grossness off of, man, we just keep having these losses, you shrug it off a little bit, and you go, okay, we had some guys step up. and guys that have been putting in that work, now the coaches get to go out there on a Monday and highlight all those things and say, hey, this guy did good, but not just this week. Look at all the weeks leading up to it where he had it and he missed a couple plays. Well, now we took care of those couple plays and it worked out this week. And so, yeah, it's still Maine. Yeah, it's not where we're going and where we need to get to immediately. But the reality is when you get to highlight a player on his hard work from a long time of doing that work, it gets to build that guy up a little bit, and throughout the team it spreads, and it's like, man, yeah, it was Maine, but we could have went out there this weekend and lost against Maine, and then what happened?
Yeah.
And so that's a reality too for the guys.
And if I'm going to school and I get beat up by the bully, if I go home and beat up on my little brother, it make me a little more confident going to school the next day. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So too bad we don't have OSU little brother anymore.
I think I understand the analogy. Now, one of the benefits of playing that type of game is getting a bunch of young guys on the field.
Mm-hmm.
How valuable, Josh, do you think that was for this program to get so many freshmen on the field in this game?
I mean, it's important. You know, you want to get those guys, and it's not just. You know, a lot of people look at that and they say, oh, well, they're getting reps, and so they're going to be ready to prepare to play in the future. But also, man, it keeps them satisfied. You know what I'm saying? It keeps them hungry.
That portal starts knocking.
It keeps them hungry.
Not even the portal, but you are, and we've all been through it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of work that goes
It's a grind, man.
To being a freshman,
yes.
redshirt freshman, especially when you're not playing, you're not out on the field, all that work you're putting in, sometimes you're like, when's the payoff?
Exactly.
When am I going to get to play?
Just throw me a bone here, man.
And again, it can hurt. We're not winning these games, and I can't even get on the field. Like, does that mean I suck?
How bad am
I? That's a reality too.
But no, it's definitely good for the future as well. I mean, just those guys getting the reps. Because, I mean, the truth is, like, these next 3 games that we have, I mean, if somebody goes down, like, they're not walking into the game, you know, like deer in the headlights. They've had some reps. They're comfortable being out there. They know how to communicate with their teammates, and they can be better.
Looking at the offensive line in the main game, it's the 8th different combination that we've started along the offensive line.
Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you know this, but that's not what you're looking for.
No,
that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to develop continuity and chemistry with the same group of guys week in and week out, and that just has not been the case for the Sooners offensive line. What stood out to you about the way that group played?
Again, the physicality, man. The physicality. I know we brought up, you know, Eddie Pierre-Louis earlier.
Mm-hmm. And I've never been more happy about a 15-yard penalty in my life.
No question. And I told him today, I was like, hey, man, don't worry about that flag. Keep doing your thing, man.
I'm with you.
And I'm pretty
said it
sure
on the
Coach
radio
Beatonbow agrees with me. Like, man, but the whole physicality of the offensive line was spectacular. They were physical in the run game. That was obvious from our production, and they protected well in the pass game. It wasn't always clean. It wasn't perfect, but man, they got after it. They had the effort there. I love the fact that we threw in some new schemes. We went back to the GT a little bit this week, which was good. We hadn't seen that in a while.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Joe John Finley has stayed consistent with what he wants to do in the run game.
Yep.
The runs that they had success with against Ole Miss carried over into Maine. They ran the same variations of inside zone, sprinkled in a couple of counter plays, like you mentioned, that looked
some
very
inside
good.
Zone with the insert tight end. Like, yeah, I mean, like to me, it takes the combination of the zone and the gap scheme stuff to keep teams guessing and have to play honest.
Bauer Sharp was trying to kill dudes on that zone insert,
and I love it, man.
It's good, and he's had some struggles, but mainly those struggles have been when he's in line and kind of at the point of attack.
Yep.
It's clear he really likes the zone insert play.
No question. Yeah. Absolutely.
And he ain't scared.
No, swap zone and zone insert, man. Yeah, he looking for heads, man.
Probably got challenged a little bit.
He did.
Yeah.
I challenged him. I was one of the people who challenged him.
When your position coach moves up, starts calling plays, and, you know, might have to step up a little bit.
Don't think it's a coincidence.
No question. No question.
Your position coach becomes the offensive coordinator, and all of a sudden,
here you go.
Here it goes.
Catching balls and knocking heads.
Offense scored 59 points. We're going to give them a little more love, and we'll talk about what we saw from the Sooners defense next. Keep it right here. It's the Huddle.
The Huddle is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
2nd and 10, Arnold to throw again. Can't find anybody. Backs his way into the end zone. Rolling right, gonna let it chunk deep downfield. Right sideline, got it! It's caught on the run! JJ, 35-30, hits a race! JJ, 90 yards! Touchdown! Oh, mama! JJ Hester, 90 yards! Jackson Arnold put it on a pillow for him, and he outraced the cornerback to the end zone.
Welcome back to the Huddle here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. We're brought to you by Air Comfort Solutions.
One of my favorite things right there, Teddy. Oh, no.
You mean when Teddy thought Jackson Arnold was going to get sacked in the end zone?
Yeah. Oh, no. 90-yard touchdown.
Oh, no. Oh, yes. Yeah. Just a fantastic play. There's a lot to unpack with that play, but I think the coolest thing is that is the longest touchdown catch by an Oklahoma Sooner ever on Owen Field.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, you think about all of the legends that have played here, all of the greats, college football Hall of Famers,
award winners, Heisman Trophy quarterbacks, and that's the longest.
Man.
It's pretty cool. But J.J. Hester is a guy. He's had to work, and he's had setbacks, Josh, but he's finally making some plays this season. It's fun to watch.
Man, it's so fun. That's why, just watching that highlight, I just smile just because, man, the last 2 years I've seen what he's had to go through with his injuries and try to get back on the field and be able to perform at a high level. And just because you come back doesn't mean that you're just going to pop off and just be right back where you left off. And so for him to, work through the last few games and him, have some challenges but overcome those, man, that's the beautiful thing about college sports is being able to see these guys overcome those trials and those challenges, man, to the point that they have that type of success. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm so proud of him, man. And, he came on a little bit last week, and then this week, man, for him to have that play, it's just a really special thing, not only for him but for his teammates as well to see him have that type of success.
And my favorite thing about it all is that it's right on time for him to face his former team, the Missouri Tigers. And so you see him go through those injuries. And, of course, most people know my injury story, having a bunch of them back to back to back. And you can get in a really dark place. He's not a guy who's super vocal. One of his best friends and LV Bunkley transfers out, and so he doesn't have a roommate anymore. And, he's sitting there alone a lot of times. And those are some of the scariest nights when you're just sitting there, can't do the thing you love. You don't have anybody to talk to about it. And luckily with Soul Mission and just all the resources, he kept going. Gets called out earlier this year. We talked about it. BV called him out in front of all his teammates. And then J.J. Hester just responds. And here we are again. Now you got a record, and everybody's going to remember you for the rest of your life, and so on and so forth. Man, how much of a redemption story is that?
Yeah, and I'll say as well, yeah, absolutely. So happy for JJ. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say this on that play, the throw.
Oh, yeah.
That was a beautiful throw.
Back foot.
Yeah, rolling out of the pocket, and that was a beautiful throw. Shout out to Jackson on that throw. To put it right there in the breadbasket like that, man, as he's rolling out and throwing off for 1 foot. That was a beautiful throw.
In all seriousness, that's the type of play where you go, that kid can be special.
Yep.
If we can put it all together, he can be special. And Caleb, it seems like since Jackson Arnold has gotten back onto the field and since Joe John Finley has taken over as the play caller, number 11 looks awfully comfortable out there.
Yeah, and You know, it's a reality. I tell people this. My third year playing, when I didn't get to start that first game after I had already started for 2 years, and when I got my opportunity to play, that was an animal out there. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was a different person. I tell my wife stories, and she's like, "I don't think I would have liked you." I said, "Nah, you wouldn't." I'm a different person out there.
I gained like 60 pounds and moved positions because I didn't want to sit on the bench for a year.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just the
that
worst
doesn't
thing.
sound fun.
And when you have all these high expectations, 5-star, and I mean, Dylan Gabriel leaves because he knows the writing's on the wall, just so many different things, you know, you got an expectation. And now somebody is playing in your position, you come back. I like to see a little bit fire lit under somebody when something doesn't go their way. You get a little bit of adversity and you come back stronger. That shows a person that really isn't afraid to go and do it again. And we talked about it in Arizona when he threw all the interceptions, and it was like he just continued to throw the ball, though. Over and over again, he continued to throw the ball, throw that deep ball, and wasn't scared. And so we saw it, but then he looked different when he came back this year and didn't have the success that we thought he was going to have. But now he kind of has that fire again, in my opinion. When I look at him, I see the fire in his eyes, and I will never have this taken from me again is kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah, and if the guy's about the right things, from what I've seen and I've experienced in my time in the game, is if a guy's about the right thing, whether it's due to injury or due to being benched, if a guy's removed and he has to watch, once he's able to see it from that perspective and learn, then they should be better when they come back. Furthermore, I believe that there's something different in the way that he's being coached. As I alluded to last week, he's being able to get through all of his progressions to get down to his check down to the running back.
Kevin Johns, Brent Venables has pointed out he's been much more involved in that quarterback room.
No question.
And it does seem like
I don't know if it's the way
there.
that they're coaching him on how to go through his progressions, if they've changed and simplified his progressions, but that is absolutely helping him lead to the success that we've seen the last couple of weeks. And I also want to point out, you mentioned he seems more comfortable. And that's true. And I think a big part of that reason, too, is we've done a much better job of protecting him. Again, last week, the last 10 plays, we had 5 sacks in the last 10 plays. But before that, we were pretty solid up front.
First 76 plays of that game.
We were solid up front.
One sack.
So you got, 76 plays last week and then all of this week. And so, yeah, like if he's able to sit back there comfortable, get his eyes in the right place on his initial read and go through his progression, he's doing a great job of delivering the ball. And even when things break down and he's not comfortable, he's doing a good job of making plays with his feet.
We're going to continue the love fest for the offense just because we haven't been able to give these guys a bunch of praise.
It's been a long season, man. Yeah.
And Javonte Barnes, these last couple of weeks, guys, he has been fantastic. And unless my eyes are lying to me, that's as wide open as I've seen him play. Acceleration, and once again, I know it's Maine. Yeah. It is what it is. But he looked fast and elusive. I mean, it just seems like he's playing with so much more confidence, Caleb.
Yeah, and, I'm just going to go out and tell the story. I'm standing with him, and they're talking. It's him and Kip Lewis. You know how Kip can get. He likes to push buttons. That's you can probably see that on the field. He's just an angry kind of guy, and so he's pushing Javonte's buttons a little bit. Like, well, if the offense could do something, and Javonte obviously doesn't like that. So he looks at him and says, I just really hate it when, in the past defense wasn't doing anything, and we looked around as offensive guys, and I'm a younger guy, and I didn't ever once question like, oh, the defense isn't going to get it together. Like, that didn't even run through my brain processing at all. But now here we go, and it's flipped, and now everybody wants to say offense this, offense that. And he said, but I got something coming for y'all, so don't even worry about that. And I mean, this is before the Ole Miss game, and if you saw him in the Ole Miss game and you saw him this week, I just hope he's got something for us every week going forward, because I like what I'm seeing.
No question. I think we saw a lot of what we've always seen with Javonte. Yeah, I think we saw a lot of what we've seen as far as his explosion through the hole and all of that kind of stuff. But I think that the biggest difference this week was him making people miss on the second and third level. Mm-hmm. That's where you get the big plays. He made guys miss. Like you said, he was elusive and made those guys miss. And so if we can get more of that, Vontae, we need that, buddy. Come on with it.
Let's show the defense some love. Other than the first drive, Caleb, where the head coach and the defense coordinator were not pleased.
Yeah.
But other than that first drive, another solid performance for this Oklahoma defense.
Yeah, and the highlight for me, outside of Robert Spears-Jennings' peanut punch, because, I mean, that's one of the best plays that I've seen all year long from this defense out of a whole bunch of great plays. But just the IQ to go and do that after, that's something they coach every single week, and to see it happen in person, big shout out to Robert Spears-Jennings. But the variety of players that made plays this weekend on defense, I mean, we got guys that you haven't heard of all season. I mean, we finally got David Stone sack. I mean, we got so many different guys that are making plays, and that's what you love about a game like Maine, where you get a bunch of younger guys getting that opportunity. The difference is some of those younger guys, it's not their first opportunity. So now when they get to go back out there, it's like, look, I already got my taste. Now I got to go make a play. And so that's when those big plays happen, like guys getting sacks and turnovers. And I think our biggest hit of the game was a Michael Boganowski. Big surprise there. Like,
I'm shocked.
And so it's just really exciting. My favorite takeaway from the game on the defensive side of the ball is the physicality and the young guys, because look, we've seen it now in the first year of the SEC. The thing that's going to separate the teams that make it to the championship or not is the depth that you have on a team, whether it's offense or defense. And so when you look at a defense like ours, where we got second, third, fourth string guys going in making plays, man, that's going to pay dividends all year long for years to come. And we're continuing to recruit guys that want to see that success and want to be a part of that success, so that we're just continuing this funnel of awesome players. And so that's what I love seeing this weekend.
You see how fired up he gets when we talk about the defense?
About how I am about offense.
Where's the passion when we're talking about the offense?
Yeah, I'm just like, those guys are good.
I mean, come on. Sooners heading to Columbia, Missouri on Saturday. We're going to break down what the Tigers got next. Keep it right here. It's the Huddle.
Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Junior Kids Club, presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively, Mathis Home, and Devon Energy. OU's 2024 football games are available on Exodus 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on those stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com.
Welcome back to the Huddle here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. It is time to go behind enemy lines, and that's brought to you by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. What stands out to you guys about the Missouri Tigers?
Well, without Cody Schrader, it's a different offense. I can start with that. They got a lot of receivers. And, I mean, more importantly, this year, without Brady Cook, it's a different offense. And so I don't know if he's going to play this week, I'm typically one of the guys that gives a lot of sound bites to other teams. But I would much rather play Drew Pine. So, Drew Pine, if you want to show up this weekend, you can please show up and show me and try to prove me wrong. But I don't think you're as good. And so I would like to play against him, because without them, I mean – what was it, 31-0 last week against Alabama?
34,
31 or something with 3 interceptions. He likes to throw more interceptions than touchdowns, apparently. And so I'm just trying to give him a couple sound bites.
That's usually not what you're going for as a quarterback, typically.
Yeah, and so a team that has a lot of receivers that probably aren't too happy right now with that situation. And so it's probably a team with a lot of frustration, trying to figure it out on the offensive side of the ball. And they have one crazy head coach is what I'm hearing. So
Yeah, man. So for me, man, their better side of the ball is defense this year. They're playing well on defense. Who they played last? Not this week, but the week before they went down to the wire with. I can't remember, but they went down to the wire with the team. Auburn should have beat them. Mm-hmm. But they drove the field that last drive to go up on them. But their defense is really solid. They're the ones who are making most of the plays. I think on the offensive side, what they're missing more than anything, the difference between last year and this year, I don't think it was just the quarterback play. I think it's the running back.
Yeah.
Their run game has fundamentally changed this year, and so they're just not as good running the ball, which affects the entire offense. And so they're leaning on the quarterback a lot, and you know they're struggling on the offensive side. And so I think that plays in our favor. You know, our defense, we're creating turnovers on the back end, doing a great job of dominating the offensive line, or our defensive line dominating our opponent's offensive lines. And so I think that we're in a really good position. It's going to come down, and people get tired. Y'all tired of hearing me say this, aren't y'all? Offensively, run the ball. If we run the ball effectively, it's going to put Jackson in a very good position for us to be successful. And so I think we're very evenly matched, but it's going to come down to how physical we are and if we can win the turnover margin.
Time for The Scoop, brought to you by Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Store. Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Stores, farm fresh for over 50 years.
Good stuff.
Caleb, what do you think? How do you think? It really is. It's delicious.
I mean, it is.
Caleb, what do you think about this environment that the Sooners about to walk in on Saturday? 6:45 p.m. kickoff. Kind of a weird situation, weird feeling around the Missouri program. Yeah. What are you expecting?
You know, you can get up every single Saturday and be excited to play the game. You put in a lot of work to do that, and if you can't, then maybe you shouldn't play the game. Is kind of a reality of what I would say to any player, especially in a prime time, 6:45. Man, everybody's watching. Everybody's going to at least tune into that game to see what team is going to show up. Is it going to be the Sooners? Is it going to be the Tigers this weekend? Now, personally, I didn't like night away games because I like going over there, waking up early, whooping their butt, getting on the plane, getting home for dinner. That's me personally.
Heard that.
And so you're sitting in the hotel room for a long time, and you got to respond to. That's something that you really have to take into consideration for guys. But, man, how do you prepare for something like that, and how do you get engaged again and get restarted? Because when you wake up, it's easy to wake up and go, but then later on you've been waiting all day long. How do you start that game? Because I personally think the team that starts the game fast is going to have the ability to maintain momentum, and whoever has complimentary football wins football games. And so that's kind of where I'm at. The biggest challenge is after a long day in the hotel and a lot of traveling, how do you respond to that, and are you going to be ready to go come kick time?
Segment 3 is the big ad read segment. Time for What's on the Menu, brought to you by Taco Mayo. Taco Mayo, big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. Josh, what do you want to see from the Sooners on Saturday?
Offensively, run the ball well. Like, if we rush the ball like we did this last week, effectively, we're physical in the run game. Jackson's going to be able to make some plays in the pass game. We have to make some plays.
And he can run a little bit too.
Yeah.
We might as well embrace that.
Absolutely,
and that's something Joe John Finley has put him in some, and it's based on different concepts of what they're doing, but he's been in multiple read-run situations.
Yep. And I think he gets fired up when he gets hit a little bit.
I think especially early in the game, I think Joe John likes to get him, it sounds strange, but likes to get him hit a little bit, because I do think Jackson gets going.
Yeah. Well, and I also wanted to say in regards to what Caleb said, I think it's fitting to bring up, to talk about a little history. So I can't remember the year it was, but whenever OU they had lost early that year, and they were going into the Big 12 championship game against Missouri. Were you on that team?
No, that was what, 07 or 08?
Yeah,
that's
I think it was 07 because Curtis was still there. So 07. Coach Stoops simply said, I shouldn't have to motivate you for this game.
That was his go-to.
Yeah, exactly.
That was his
I don't
go-to.
have to motivate you. If you can't get up for this game, like I don't like, then you're dead inside pretty much. And so, like, our guys, man, understanding what we have at stake, they should be every bit of excited and ready, regardless of the time that the game is played, to go in there and play the way we need to. But again, we're going to have to be physical. We're going to have to take care of the ball on offense. We're going to have to take away the ball on defense. But physicality is going to be a big part of this game.
Yeah, and on defense, now that you mentioned it, man, we got to get the turnovers going a little bit more.
We do.
I know we had some, but you got to win those turnover margins every single game, because that whoever wins turnover margin statistically is going to win that game. And we've gone down a little bit on that, as well as sacks, and those are two things that areas
this year
I
we're
see we need to
4-0
go
when
up.
we win the turnover margin. 0-4, or I guess 5-0, and then 4-0 when we lose the turnover margin.
To recap, run the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Force
Gotta be
turnovers.
there. Yep.
Same thing every week.
You guys are really smart.
Man.
Hey, man.
Really smart. But these guys have some beef. They got some things
I
to
do
say.
have some beef.
They got some things to say, and they're going to do it next. Keep it right here. It's The Huddle.
We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free. Taco Mayo. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today.
Welcome back to The Huddle here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. It is time for What's Your Beef, presented by Didier Ranch. Didier Ranch's premium ranch-raised beef can be shipped anywhere in the continental U.S. Visit DidierRanch.com. That's D-I-D-I-E-R ranch.com to order. Didier Ranch. Tradition tastes better.
Wow.
It's a great slogan.
Yeah.
Incredible. What's your beef, Josh? What do you got?
My beef is with James Franklin.
Ooh.
Not for the post game.
Oh, I was about to say, you
Not.
yelling
It's
at
the 8
people
in
in
a
the
row,
stands?
man. It's the 8 in a row, bro.
8 in a row.
Like, I really thought they were going to beat Ohio State this week, just because they're a really good team, man. But for whatever reason, they got his number, man, and he's going to have to figure that out, man, because that's the one thing that's keeping him from getting over the hump, getting into the Big Ten conference championship, and then being able to have an opportunity at winning the Natty. And so, shoot, man, like he got to figure that 8 in a row.
See some of the results of some of the big games there in Week 10 of college football. Anything really stand out to you, Caleb?
Results-wise, the Texas Tech game was real close. That was exciting. Texas Tech beats Iowa State, undefeated Iowa State
takes
in
down
Iowa
the
State,
field.
Ames, Iowa, and so
How about South Carolina, guys?
yeah,
Honestly, it doesn't surprise me, man.
Beamer ball is going to be a real thing going forward, and I'm excited for him. He's a guy that deserves it. Is salt of the earth, as they say. So I love Beamer.
That was an impressive second half. Let's take a look at some of the games on the schedule for Week 11 here in college football. We got some good ones.
Yeah, man, it's going to be some good ones.
Georgia at Ole Miss.
Yeah,
Ole Miss just scored 1,000 in Fayetteville.
Yeah,
That was impressive.
The two that interest me is Bama at LSU. LSU coming off a bye week. Bama coming off a huge win at Missouri, and then Florida versus Texas. Florida's getting better. I think it's gonna be hard for them. They're getting better.
There's no doubt
they were
better.
bad at the beginning.
I just don't know what DJ Lagway's status is going to be for that game.
Did he get hurt?
He got hurt. That's when things
gosh.
kind of went off the rails for him against Georgia. He went down and had to bring the third
Lagway is
stringer
there,
in.
like I think it's going to be tough to beat them in Austin. But I mean, Florida's playing good ball, and again, I mean, trick Texas. I hope they lose. I hate them, and I hope they lose all the time.
Hot takes coming up next. Don't go anywhere. It's The Huddle.
thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
Our buddy from Sooner Vision, Theron Smith, was absolutely taken out by a Maine defender on the sideline. He is okay. Said he hasn't been hit that hard since he was playing in high school.
Yeah, he's a tough guy.
He was absolutely. I went up to him like, "You okay?" Because you got rocked. It's the greatest
fear. Big dude. Is the black bear okay?
Good point. Theron's well put together. He has a significant personal flaw to him. He's a St. Louis Cardinals fan, but other than that, a great guy.
It's tough.
Well, welcome back to the Huddle. Welcome back to the Huddle here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. We're presented by Air Comfort Solutions. Theron Smith is a unit.
He is. Yeah. He's a big dude.
He took that like a champ, popped right up.
Yeah.
No problem.
Praying for you, Theron.
He's fine. I talked to him afterwards. He's fine.
We saw the slow-mo, though. His face was,
Exactly. He was locked in, man. He was locked in.
His knee kind of got in the way of him taking
No question. The real question is, did he get the shot?
There's no doubt.
Okay.
There's no. He is
the consummate professional.
There's no doubt. All right,
no
time for some hot takes, guys. It's brought to you by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Josh, I'll start with you. Hot take for OU Missouri.
All right, so I'm going to go out on a limb. We're going to rush for 150 yards.
Ooh.
We're going to rush for 150 yards against a very good defense at that. But I like the direction that we're going in. I think
the ball.
With the success that we had this week, and we had a lot of success the week before against Ole Miss, they minused them for the dumb sacks. But anyway, I think we're going to rush the ball really well and think 150 plus in the rushing game.
I like it with the way that Javonte Barnes has been playing, what Jackson Arnold has added to the run game. I like it. What do you got, Caleb?
okay, I got two. I'll make them quick. Football-related one. I just really want this personally, so I'm going 3 defensive turnovers. I just really would love to see that. 3 defensive turnovers.
That'd be great.
And if we can get one for like pick 6, fumble 6 or something, would love to see a scoop and score. It's been a while. Auburn's a long ways away. And my second one, the one I really care about, is can we get a heated head coach moment at the end of the game? BV.
Whoa.
After the game, something
Between him and the other coach?
Yeah. Oh, I would like to see a heated handshake.
How heated
That's
are we
a hot
talking?
take. I'm talking about red face BV, like, ooh, shake your hand and don't say anything. A couple of hard.
That's without a doubt my favorite hot take of the season. I can't wait. OU Missouri, Saturday, 6:45 p.m. Can't wait to see what the Sooners have got.
Give it up for
joining
Gabe.
us on the Huddle.
Give it up for Gabe.
The OU Huddle has been brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.